I don't think you should be trying to cultivate the fans. Oh, but it does this.
Puts got him trapped.
Tracks.
Oh.
Into the buckle after the powerbomb. This is death.
F5.
A lot of people think that was the match that put Leo on the map in MCW. That was the match that kind of showed what Leo was capable of, especially against a big man. Do you think Brian Cage knows that and says not going to happen twice, especially not in the same building?
You ever look at an animal documentary and you see a bear maul a salmon?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I pictured this being.
just poised over, just playfully reaching down and grabbing it with his paws. I mean, Brian Cage, trained by the late, great Chris Kanyon. That was his mentor and trainer. And it shows. Chris Kanyon at one point was an innovator of offense. And Brian Cage certainly brings his own spice and highlights and maneuvers. There's nothing quite like this guy. He's the one and only in professional wrestling. A man that looks like that, able to do the things he can do in that manner.
Well, the thing is, when I was first introduced to Brian Cage, he actually kind of looked like Action Andretti, but put on
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, very long.
That was a long time ago.
And since then, he has just bulked up, but has still kept that athleticism.
I mean, I knew Brian Cage back in 2008 in FCW. He was a very, very different competitor. He's got the confidence. When you're this big, confidence would probably come easily.
You'd have to think.
You'd have to think. Brian Cage firing back. Having his way with Action Andretti, don't you think?
I don't think Action's used to a match like this. Has he had any offense?
Well, I mean, you look at the Shane Shamrock Cup when he competed. Cruiserweights, pretty much. I mean, guys that are welterweight, and I don't want to say on the small side, but the more aerial-centered offense, so to speak, quicker. Not to say that Brian Cage can't go aerial, but he can also impose his mammoth size and strength. And there it is. Action Andretti used to just throwing somebody over with that Hurricane Rana. No such luck with Cage. Swinging. Blocked.
I think the last time that Action Andretti had this much trouble was against Bro Keller and Joe Keys, and that was against two men.
Look at that. He tried to lace the fingers. Couldn't bring the big man off his feet. He's going to have to use Brian Cage's own momentum against him, don't you think? Well,
he could try.
He could try. I know, that's real easy for me to say. Nestled up here next to you two at this desk. He just should use his momentum against him. Forget it. It'll be easy.
Why didn't he think of that?
Why didn't he think of this? It's right there. Meanwhile,
run down and tell him.
I'm not running anywhere. Meanwhile, a 275-pound man is just chopping you and beating the hell out of you. Oh, man.
That's the one thing about Action Andretti. He's all about just moving forward at full speed, but Brian Cage can do the exact same thing.
That's what makes Cage. That's what makes Cage so dangerous. He can wrestle multiple types of matches. High impact, fast maneuvering, creative offense, or ground and pound. Choking, punching, kicking, brawling, whatever it takes. Mat wrestling, he can do it all. But what he prefers to do is devastating high impact maneuvers. Because it allows him to take his time. After hitting something big, he can take a breath. He can make his opponent think about it. Pick him up, hit something else big.
I don't know if you heard from the crowd. Somebody called Brian Cage a bully, but when you're that size, yeah, you have the ability to do that, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the food chain, unfortunately, for Action Andretti. Holy moly! Seamlessly, in one motion, picked Action Andretti up by the haunches, by his shoulder, and tossed him over his head.
Fans, pick up your Action Andretti ragdoll today.
Standing moonsault into the cover by Cage. And a 2 count. First pinfall attempt, I believe, of the matchup. And this is not where Action Andretti wants to be. Unable to get any sort of anything resembling offense onto Brian Cage. And unfortunately, I don't mean to say this as a slight on Action Andretti, but this is what I expected. Brian Cage is a veteran. He's not only that, but he's one of the most physically impressive and offensively gifted competitors in the game today, Ricky.
He's been a champion almost everywhere that he's been, and he's, for lack of better terms, imposing his will on Action Andretti.
And this is Action Andretti's, what?
Maybe second year?
Second year, probably his 20th match in front of people. Come on. Maybe 30th, I don't know.
But no doubt this is a huge match
That was a
for
huge
Action
back,
Andretti.
yeah, that was a huge back elbow, you're right. Huge match for Action Andretti. Action looking for that big win, looking to get noticed. He really sees himself as the sight to see. But what a sight it is watching him get mauled. Like you said, Ricky Owens, like a bear mauling a cold water salmon, or I don't know. I don't freshwater
Salmon,
fish.
flounder,
And you're not
trout.
a bear.
Oh yeah, and I'm not a bear. I'm not busky at all.
This has just been pure dominance by Brian Cage.
Yeah, this is a spectacle. This is like he's running an offensive clinic. Is Brian Cage on Action Andretti? Mike Keener may want to consider. Oh no, he's still alive. Action Andretti. There he is. He used Brian Cage's momentum against him in the Pele kick.
heard
Action
you.
Andretti. He heard me. Over here yelling it like a maniac.
No matter how big you are, muscle is not beating steel.
Muscle don't beat steel, and you can work out all you want, but you don't get you don't build the muscle on your head. If you get a boot to the face, it's gonna hurt. I don't care if you're Tony Atlas, like 1981, Tony Atlas. There you
Not
go.
today.
Not today. No. Keep your shoes on your feet, Kim. There's a Hurricane Run to the outside. Goes Brian Cage. Action Andretti.
This didn't work out well for him last time.
I don't think you should be trying to cultivate the fans. Oh, but it does this time. Suicide dive. Holy moly, the split-legged bounce off the ropes, moonsault. Well, boing, boing. I don't think it was a split-legged, though.
Springboard.
Springboard. That's what I was looking for. I'm just like an play-by-play guy. Just like Action Andretti to the top rope.
Took way too much time.
Took
though.
wait, did you see how slowly Brian Cage was able to walk over there?
Well, when you have somebody coming at you that's the size of Brian Cage, you might be a little intimidated.
Well, I mean, but you're going to want to put a little hustle behind your offense. Oh, man. Well, somebody was looking for something there. Maybe the Spanish Fly. Beautiful. Inside out. Trouble in Paradise-like kick. The cover. It was almost a disaster kick. In fact, that's what it was.
That was a standing shooting star.
Cover. Look at this. Action Andretti now starting to find his groove. Brian Cage did not want this to happen, and it all kind of started to come apart for Brian Cage after that suicide dive.
I think that Action just needs to stay on the attack. Stop worrying about getting the people behind you. Just do the damn thing.
Oh! That was one of Brian Cage's trademark maneuvers. Springboard down. Oh, they collide heads. Brian Cage able to hold him. Oh, my God.
Oh, jackhammer.
Into the cover, both shoulders down. Do you know what it takes to kick out of somebody the size of Brian Cage in a lateral press?
You even saw that. He had it. He had his wrist. He held that down.
Yeah.
Action Andretti just barely slipping that shoulder out.
I mean, those are like veteran little tells and veteran sort of caveats that are put on the details of offense. It's the difference between the good and the great. Action Andretti firing off a flurry of hits. Brian Cage meets him with that European uppercut. Andretti may be being kept up by the rope. But look at that! Springboard! Oh my God! Inside out!
Might be the only weakness.
Tilt-a-whirl DDT!
Might be the only weakness on Brian Cage is his head.
I was calling it everything. It's a springboard. Tilt-a-whirl tornado DDT.
Oh, there's that split-legged moonsault you mentioned.
That's what I was looking for. Brian Cage.
He's got him trapped. And then, just slamming him down on the mat, going for that cover.
The electric chair drop cover. Did you see when he had him trapped there?
Him trapped, that super kick. His head had nowhere to go.
His head was between his legs, and the man reared back and kicked him in the face while his head was upside down between his legs, Kim. Think about that. Merry Christmas, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely last call for Action Andretti after that. Well, this could be it. We know the machine likes to employ those power bombs. Action Andretti again using the weight and the momentum. Just kicked the curls right out of that perm of Action Andretti.
Oh!
It was the Spanish Fly. He didn't get all of it though, but that may be enough.
No, but I think Action's knee actually came down on Brian's face.
Oh, so it was not pretty. They took flight and it
wasn't pretty, but it's effective.
Ugly landing, yeah.
Well, like you said, the head seems to be the weakest part here.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a hell of a lot of man.
I believe Brian Cage is bleeding from the mouth.
Oh, Ricky Owens is right. That knee may have caught him on that Spanish Fly. And you know what's worse than Brian Cage?
Brian Cage bleeding.
Brian Cage bleeding because he's mad.
But
I'm sorry, Mr. Cage.
What I'm thinking about it, is that actually going to work out in the favor of Action Andretti? Because if you get that blood in your mouth, you start choking on it, you can't breathe. It's going to be very difficult to fight.
That's a good point, Ricky. But some competitors, when they see their own blood, it does something to them. Their inner beast.
It flips that switch.
Yes, it flips that switch, turns it to that next gear. Yeah, it looks like a red hue coming from the mouth of the machine.
You have to wonder how much more Action has in it.
F5. Action Andretti, though, with the destroyer of his own. What athleticism. This could do it. Oh, man.
I got to ask, what does that say? Or what does that do for Action Andretti? Brian could have grabbed the rope, but no, he was just defiant and just swung that arm up. You will not keep me down.
I mean, yeah, that's a statement by the...
Oh, that's a statement, too.
Listen to the MCW crowd here. Come alive. Drops him with the neck breaker as the plasma coming out of the mouth of Brian Cage. This could be the opening that Action Andretti has been waiting for. Split-legged moonsault. Hooks the far leg. 2, 3. What was that? He got out, didn't he?
2 9/9.
Wow. Brian... I mean, what do you do now if you're Action Andretti with Brian Cage?
Do it again.
Do it again.
Do it again.
You may be onto something here, Ricky.
That was the closest fall that Action's had. Do it again, but something else in mind.
I don't know what Action Andretti was going for there, but it was stopped in its tracks.
Oh.
Into the buckle after the powerbomb. This is death.
F5.
F5. The cover.
How did he kick out of that?
I was going to say this is death by combo, and he's still Action Andretti.
Look at Mike Keener. Even Mike's shocked.
Wow. Veteran official, our senior official, Mike Keener, who's seen everything from ECW to WWE. Right here to MCW. You just caught him with a look of shock on his face. Very telling. And this could be it. Look for Brian Cage to go for that driller, I think. Action Andretti slips through. Oh, man, watch out, Keener. The discus clothesline. toppling Action Andretti.
I think he's going for Weapon X.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, my God.
Twists his body around him.
Wow. What an impressive maneuver. The cover. And that's going to do it. What a match.
Action got more offense in there than we had given him credit for.